Hi everyone, my name is Estefani Flores. I am a BSW student, and today I'm going to be sharing a quick overview of the interview that I did with my client and all the things that I've learned throughout the process. I'll explain the tools that I use, such as the EcoMap and Genogram, and how they help me understand my client's situation better. I would also talk about how I felt during the interview and what I think I did well and what I think I might need to improve on, and grow as a social worker. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna talk about my client. His name is Edward. He just turned 21 and he's currently aging out of foster care, unfortunately. So he lives with his foster family in Fort Lauderdale, but he was told that he has to find somewhere to go soon because this family is fostering new children into their home. So at the moment, he works at Publix as a part-time bagger and is trying to get back into school. So he's trying to get into the GED program and hopefully in the future go into a trade school. But as of now, Edward's main priority is to find housing because he has to find somewhere to go within a couple months. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the biopsychosocial spiritual assessment. And this really helped me because I learned so much about my client, what his life has been like, and what he hopes for the future. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna go in order through all the things that we learn about the client. So biological, he doesn't have or he doesn't know any medical history. He doesn't have any contact with his biological family, so he doesn't know any past medical history. But he is very active. He enjoys playing basketball and goes on walks, so he's a very active person and that keeps him going every day. Psychological, well, right now he's under a lot of stress because he has to find somewhere to go soon, and because of work, he's just trying to manage how that will look like because he doesn't get paid enough as a part-time worker. So as of now, he's just under a lot of stress, but at the same time, he's very self-aware and he's showing a lot of motivation towards the future. So he wants to continue with his GED. He dropped out of high school when he was only a sophomore because he thought school was not for him. But then, after a few years, now he's realizing that school is important and he wants to continue with his GED and eventually go into a trade school. So, social, he has a good relationship with his foster family and he has a mentor that he met back in high school, Mr. Brown, that is a really good example for him. He actually looks up to him. Mr. Brown even told him that if he decides to go back to school, he'll be willing to pay for it, and obviously help with moral support. So that's something very comforting because he has a good network, family support. He has siblings as well, foster siblings. He doesn't really get along with them. They don't talk much because of the age difference, but they're also in his life. Spiritually, he is Christian. He doesn't go to church very often, but he does find comfort in faith and he likes to pray and he believes in God. So now we're going to talk about the genogram. Pretty much a genogram is a family tree that will give us a visual of my client's family. So we have Edward in the middle, we have Nina and Harold on the right side. Those are the biological parents. We do not have any information on them other than they suffer from substance abuse. Then we have Julia and Jacob. Those are the foster parents. They have a strong relationship with Edward. We do know that Jacob suffers from a heart disease, but Julia, thankfully, she's doing well physically. Then we have the grandparents. Unfortunately, all four of them have been deceased. We don't have much information on them. We do know that Edward knows that they were really go to both Julia and Jacob, and they got along really well, but we don't know anything about them. Edward never got to meet them. And then we have Nathan and Karina. Those are the siblings, foster siblings. They do not have a good relationship with Edward due to the age difference, and they don't really have anything in common other than they live in the same home. So their connection is very stressful. Okay, now we have the eco map, and this pretty much shows us the connections that my client has to people or places. So as you can see, he has very strong connection to both mom and dad, as well as Julius and Paul, which are the best friends. One is high school best friend Paul, and Julius is his work best friend. Then we have Mr. Black. He is the mentor from high school. He has been a really good example for Edward, and he looks up to him. He said that both work and school are very stressful. He doesn't like where he works. He's trying to find a better job. In school, he dropped out when he was in 10th grade. He's trying to get back into a GD program, but he said that the time that he was in school, he really didn't enjoy it. He was very stressed. And then we have Karina and Nathan, the foster siblings. He doesn't have a good relationship with them. So he tends to be stressed when it comes to them. They do live in the same home, but they don't have anything in common and they don't share much. So it's a stressful relationship. Okay, reflection of feelings. This is very important because it will show our clients that we understand how they feel, that we want for them to feel supported and not alone on what they're going through. It also makes it easier for our clients to open up to us and just be able to explain the situation better. In this clip, I show empathy towards my client. He was sharing that he's been going from foster care to foster care and he never really had a place on his own. So I understood, I validated his feeling. I said, I understand, that must be so difficult with growing up. We all need our own space, and you're gonna see that in the next clip. Thank you. Okay, so what is your living situation now? Where are you living at the moment?
Currently, I still live with my last foster family. They still have room, but they're going to need my bedroom sooner rather than later so they can foster another kid.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So it's like we have to find something soon. That way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm lucky that they at least have let me stay there a little longer. But
yeah, of course. How's your relationship with them?
They're they're really good people. I've been with them for a couple of years now, and ready to move on and a little bit, but grateful that I had them in my life when I did.
Yeah, of course, and I'm glad you feel like that. That you guys have a good relationship. That's always important. I'm sure you're gonna miss them.
I will, yeah, but hopefully they'll be close.
Yes, yes. So in your mind, what would be your ideal home? Where would you like to live? Are you open to live with like a roommate, or would you like to live by yourself?
I'm open to living with a roommate. I would really like to have my own bedroom. I've shared a lot of bedrooms as I've grown up in foster care with other foster siblings, so I'd like some space to call my own.
Of course. Yeah, I can understand how that could be difficult while growing up. We'll need like our space. That's important for us.
Yeah, and I just bouncing around through foster care, you just kind of get used to it. But yeah, I mean, being 21, I'd like to have that space.
Well, great to me. Seems like you're a really strong person, and we have emphasizing clients' strength. So my client Edward, he is a young man that has gone through a lot. And right now, even though he's under a lot of stress because he has to find a home, he's also looking into continue with his education. He left out when he was in high school. He dropped out of 10th grade, and now he's willing to go back to get his GED and eventually go into trade school. So It's always important to recognize our clients' strength and let them know that we appreciate, all the effort that they've been putting and their resilience. So in here, you'll see how I was so happy to hear that my client is motivated to continue with school and work, and I show a lot of encouragement towards him. You'll see that in the clip. Next.
Um, would you be open to work on weekends?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty motivated right now to kind of get this going, and so if I have to work on weekends and also do the GED at the same time, then
Well, wow, I'm just so surprised by you. You seem so motivated to start school, to start work. I'm so happy to hear that.
thank you.
Yeah, because I know it's, now you're turning 21 and it's all these new changes going on in your life. And I'm just so glad, and it's so refreshing to see somebody so motivated to continue.
Yeah, I'm anxious about all the change, but I just kind of want to get it going.
Yeah, which is normal, is like I said, you're going through so many changes, but I feel like throughout your life you've been going through so much, and now you're finally gonna be independent. You're gonna hopefully in the future have your own home, your own space. That's exciting. We're gonna work towards that.
Yeah. I love that.
What about
Okay, so now we have open-ended questions. This is very important because these are questions that cannot be answered with a yes or no. So it helps clients to open up and share more details, which is what we need in order to help them. Here, Edward was telling me how difficult it has been for him because being in the foster care, he never really had a home of his own. He was always jumping from place to place. So I first listened, and then I asked, how was that experience for him? How did that feel? Because in order for me to know and help them, I want to know what that was like so I can help them in the future. So open-ended questions to me is very important. I feel like I probably could have used that more, but I was happy that I was able to use it in this situation.
I know that, fostering care, that's difficult, like especially while growing up, because you didn't have like a space of your own, always moving around. How was that for you while growing up?
There were tough moments. I just kind of get used to it. So yeah, I mean, I just got used to it, and right now, I have my own room, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to have my own room when I move out also.
Definitely, yeah, we can help you with that. In the future, do you think you'll be able, um, do you think you'll be open to live with a roommate, or do you prefer to just live by yourself?
Um, as long as I have my own bedroom, I don't mind living with
Okay.
somebody. I think that especially right now, I can't afford to live on my own. I'm probably gonna need someone to help split the bill.
Yeah, but the good thing is that because you're in foster care, there's a lot of programs that help foster care children that we can apply to today.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
We can definitely look at our options. What about school? Are you currently in school?
No, I dropped out of high school, and I've just been working really since then.
Okay. What grade were you in when you dropped out of high school?
I finished 10th grade,
Okay,
so
10th grade.
I still need to figure out how to complete junior and senior year.
We can help you with that. May I ask, what was the reason that you decided to?
Okay, so now we have provided information. This is very important because it helps our client understand all the information that we'll give them throughout the process. So in this clip, you're gonna see how I explain what a genogram is and the importance of a genogram. So both the client and me can have a better understanding of his family tree and all the connections that he has with each family member. I make sure to use simple and clear language so Edward can understand, and I make sure to go slowly and not to overwhelm him with all the information that I was given to him. Officially done.
Nice to see you again. So today we're gonna do something called an eco-map.
What's that?
So an eco-map is basically for me to have a visual understanding of who are the most important people in your life at the moment.
Okay.
So, and each of them have like a category. So, like if our patient is, if you have a strong connection to them, if it's not so close, then we can see it here. That way, you can help me and help us actually see it visually a little bit better.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with you in the middle.
Okay. And so this is like people I interact with on like a regular basis.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
people that you consider that are important to you.
Okay.
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 Or people that might cause you stress, they could also be in here because that's important for me to know as well.
Okay.
Okay, so then Edward, right here, you are the middle center of attention. Okay, Edward. So let's talk a little bit about who comes to your mind first.
Well, I guess right now my foster parents and foster siblings kind of come to mind
Okay,
because
so
I do see them a lot.
right. So your foster parents, we're gonna put them here. And what is your relationship to them at the moment? Is it strong?
Okay, so social worker strengths. I feel like one of my strengths is that I show a lot of empathy towards my clients and make sure that they feel understood and supported by me. My tone of voice, I try to be very warm and calm so my clients can open up more to me. I try to be very communicative and just always answer any questions that my clients might have. And I explain everything to them in very simple terms. Okay, areas of improvement and self reflection. At the beginning of the interview, I felt very nervous. I was forgetting a lot of things that I wanted to say. So I think I need to do better at that just to calm down my nerves before doing the actual interview. I also want to become more comfortable just with silence in general. Sometimes it's okay to just have a moment for either the client or me to just get our thoughts together and then say the next thing. Um, Also, learning how to slow down. Sometimes I feel like I am the one that asks and just tries to talk more than the client when I feel like it's the client that needs to open up and share everything. So I'm learning. I hope to learn, all of these things that now see in the interview. So in the future, I won't make those mistakes. My feelings during the interview. I felt very proud of my client because he was going through so much throughout his whole lifetime, being in foster care from family to family, and still finds the motivation to keep going. He wants to go back to schools. He wants to go into trade school. So extremely proud of him. Um, at the beginning, I was nervous, so I feel like I didn't really ask the questions that I wanted to ask. I was more focused on just trying to stay calm. I also felt sad when he shared that he never had his own room in the past. That made me feel sad because I want to help him. I want to be able to give him all the tools that he needs in life so that way he can in the future he's going to be independent and have his own home and just hopeful to that. But overall, it was a great interview. I really enjoyed talking to my client Edward. Describe 3 ongoing learning needs. I want to continue improving my ability to explore emotions more deeply with my clients. I want for them to be able to open up more to me and not just me doing all the talking. I also want to be better at doing open-ended questions so that way it's not a yes or no question. My clients can actually open up more, and I want to be able to not to talk so fast and just make sure that I pace myself during the interview so that way I give my client time to tell me all the things. Okay, now we have the conclusion and reflection. I've truly enjoyed doing this interview with my client Ed. Doing the biopsychosocial spiritual assessment really gave me a full picture of his life and helped me understand him on a deeper level. Also, the genogram and eco map were very helpful just to give me that picture of his life. I felt really proud of my client because he has dealt with so much during his lifetime. I've also felt really sad when he was telling me things like he didn't have his own bedroom. um, I will say that I was very nervous at the beginning. As I got comfortable, it got better. And this experience really reminded me why empathy is so important. Understanding and your interview skills matter. So it definitely motivated me to keep improving and becoming a better social worker in the future.